Looking in the faces of the people
and
who are suffering.
And I bet you're just like, man, I can't, you know what I mean?
Well, you know,
because I already know you're a fighter, so it's like, man, like, I
no, you know what? It's the opposite. It's the opposite. Ooh. But let me just touch on the point that I want to say is that when I go and talk to my boss, hey man, same shit. Even though it's not, whatever it is, like, hey man, I know we got a bunch of work and dates to hit. I'm going to these dates, and they're like, you let me know.
Yeah.
And but you know, you go in there. I mean, the first time I walked in there, this guy was like, as soon as he's looking for any of his family who wasn't there, and then he makes eye contact with me and just tries. And I just sit there stone faced, like, I'm gonna stare at you as long as I can, motherfucker. Let's do
Talk
this.
about that. And he had the audacity to just stare at you.
He was doing this. He was mad.
Like, didn't even put his head down, like, dude. Ooh.
Wow. And then I was like, you know, I'm gonna go drink a beer because you can't, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like that. Damn, man.
And you know, it was. So I have this weird 911. You compartmentalize, so I can sit here and have this conversation without any emotional involvement. I'm observing and absorbing.
Yeah.
So for those listeners that don't know, Jory before he came into the trades was a 911 operator.
And
I remember.
Yeah, if you call 911 and say, "Hey, I don't know,"
a bunch of people that are like, emergency
well, yeah. I mean, people are calling on the worst day of their life, right? They're calling on the worst day of their life, and it was my job to make an impression because they're not talking to me. They're not, hey, Jory, you know, can you get the... They're going, the fucking police better help me right now. And I mean, once you get in the mindset of this noble position where you can't take shit personal, it's hard for me to transition to this job because I'll be working and, you know, guys like to bullshit. So I'll be like, hey, what's this and this and this?
Then somebody
if it was a dick in your mouth, you would know. It's like... And it goes right over my head. Like, I heard it, but I didn't process it. I'm like, okay, but where does it go? And they're like, oh, you're mad? It's like, no, that's just the way my brain works. Because it's like this. 911 was the location of emergency. Get out here right now, motherfucker.
Yeah, I didn't know where you're at.
No, like, but I can't do that. I'm like, you know, get out here right now, motherfucker. Okay, well, where you at? I'm at my house. Okay, where's your house at? In Phoenix. Okay, where's... Some
people just lose everything once they're in a situation.
We're at in Phoenix. My house. Oh, okay. Well, do you have an address?
Like that?
Oh, dude.
Yeah?
Dude.
Oh, my God.
Dude. But I can't be mad. You know, at first, that's kind of like the evolution process where you're like, you know what, fuck that. I'm never appreciated. And whatever complaints you got, but at some point...
I mean, I can just picture someone talking to you about a problem about their life, you know what I mean? And then all the stuff that you went through, it's like, so what's the problem?
That happened when my brother was murdered. You know what I mean?
So it's like, God, I can't picture that. You know
that's what helped me through my mom dying is there was a bitterness over my brother dying. And like... Or here's a perfect example. A guy calls me up, or a girl calls me up. She's fucked. I mean, when you hear people sobbing... My husband isn't waking up. My kid is in the pool, and you're just listening to him. And the next call is, "Why? This guy lives down the street. There's a bunch of cops here. Why can't they come here and make this guy shut off his loud music?" And you know, at some point, we had a girl up there go, "Oh, you know what? They're sitting there. They're helping the family deal with the death of their child. But I'll have the sergeant come in." They're like, "No. But you can't let that emotion get to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're in this position. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is say, you know what? What can I do to help you? They're down there. You know what? They're dealing with something difficult. What can I do?" And they're going to yell at you. They're going to bitch at you. But you see what I'm doing with my voice right now? Mm-hmm. That's a tactic when people are yelling.
Oh, you're calming everything down.
That's a hostage situation. So when you go, hey, Mark.
Yo, Mark, you need to calm the fuck down, man. No more booms, okay? We need to relax.
No
time for booms.
No, I just want to prove the point. Like that's
whispering. I'm just kidding.
You know, you got people locked up.
No, that is true.
They got people locked up with a gun to their head, and you're like, hey, you know what? Hey, what's your name? And one thing you never do is you never ask why. I applied this to my life. Okay. You never ask why. You never say you understand. So let's say, okay, my mom died. Yeah. You call up, I'm about to kill myself. Okay, and that is the very situation where you want them to hear those words back. What makes you want to kill yourself today? Because it makes them go, actually. But let's say, hey,
I'm mad right now. God, can I be mad? Yeah, but don't kill yourself.
But let's say they kill everyone. I'm going to kill everyone in this room. Okay,
there's nobody in the room.
What's going on? What's going on? Oh, my dog died. I can't be like, oh, I understand because my mom died. Yeah. No, because then you just say it don't matter. That's like saying you don't matter. You go, oh, I can see that what made you upset. So it's just That's number one.
And
Number
then
two
you're
is you
like,
never ask
biscuit,
why.
come over here, biscuit. You fucking asshole.
But here's what you
His
do.
dog died. You're talking about your dog. Get
Here's
over
what
here.
you do. You never ask why. Because if I go, you go, I'm gonna kill everyone in this room, and I go, why? It means like it sounds accusatory. Why?
Yeah.
But even if I say why with that same tone,
'Cause I'm mad.
If I go,
You're like, damn.
but listen to the
I've
same tone.
fucking been in jail a
Listen
long
to the
time
same
ago.
tone.
How many motherfuckers pissed me off? God damn, dude. I'm just kidding.
I just want.
Yeah.
So listen to the same tone. Instead of going, why? What makes you want to do that?
Yeah.
That sounds more rapport building. That makes me like, what pissed you off? Let's go get him. Let's fuck him up. But if I say why?
Why?
That's just disgusting. That's contemptuous. You can't do that to people. So when you're out there, you gotta fucking. And then I'm going straight to. I'm
try
going
to
straight
like like just change their way of thinking, or like in that moment, do they even have like? Do they have you guys do like practice stuff when you guys are applying for like job?
No, that's all on the job, dude.
On the job.
It's
training
all
like
on the
that?
job, dude.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, like, I listened to a guy burn to death on the phone.
Oh shit!
Right? They don't give you any time to go. You know, I need to go. I mean, you can go take 5 minutes, but when you come back, call to call to call.
Yeah.
Call to call to call. Hey, you know what? I'm kind of fucked up from the call. I can't come in the rest of the week. Nope, you don't do that. You don't do
No,
that, bro.
no, turn your feelings off when you get to the door.
Yeah,
You got a light
dude.
switch. Like, yeah.
And granted,
should have robots do this job.
It's
The fuck, man?
government. It's government.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a critical job. There's a big turnover, and for a good reason. I loved it. I can go back there and do it right
Yeah.
now. They wouldn't let me do part time because it takes up the whatever government
You need
bullshit.
it full time. So
Yeah.
you need not part time fucking chaos. You need full time fucking just taking all that emotion. Like God, dude.
But that's when I'm trying to transition into work, where it's like, hey, and I'm learning, but it still takes a while to talk shit. Like it's one thing to go, hey, fuck you, and another thing to come back with something spunky where like how you hit Sal, where Sal's like trying to talk shit. Hey, wipe it with your shirt.
You got your shirt. Fool, you ain't even got a school shirt.
Hey, hell yeah, bro.
Fucking Sal, that day was Sunday.
But I can imagine, Taylor, you were in the military, right? I mean, how bad was your transition?
Well, transitioning from active duty over to the civilian side, it's different, as far as finding every day that I would go into work, I was objective focus. I had a thing that I had to accomplish.
Yeah.
It was feeding into what I felt like was a bigger mission. So I worked out at Luke Air Force Base.
I don't like that mission. You had a mission.
Yeah.
So every day you had to accomplish something.
Yeah. And so our mission at Luke Air Force Base was training F-16 and F-35 pilots. So I was going in and I was working on computers, but the computers that I was working on was enabling flight scheduling. It was enabling the hospital to do their medical checks on the pilots to make sure that they were healthy. It was restoring radio communications between the tower and the planes, things like that. So I'm just going and I'm working on a computer, but knowing that I'm feeding into a larger mission.
That's pretty cool, man. So you've been around jets and all that, then? Yeah.
It's hard to replicate that on the civilian side.
Can I ask you this? Do you ever get people? What branch were you in?
I was in the Air Force.
Do you ever hear someone? Oh, you're in the Air Force? My brother was in the Air Force. His name is Jim. Do you know him?
So you know how many gyms there are?
Yeah.
You know
I
what
had that.
He's Mexican and he's short.
Yeah.
Like, what? How many are there? Like, God. I'm Mexican, so I can say it. It's all good.
And at Luke, we had something like 3,500 active duty people, and then we had a whole bunch of civilians and guard and reservists that would come and work, and I would just be like, oh yeah, do they work on computers? Then no, I probably most likely don't know. There's just so many people on that base.
It's like God, dude. It's like that narrows it down. Like God, man. It's funny when people say, "Oh yeah, I got somebody that's like a relative," and you're like, that's it's around the world, man."
I can imagine this too. Like, no, I don't think I know him. Well, he actually went to basic training in Georgia. Were you there?
Yeah.
Look at his face. He's like,
San Antonio, Texas, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he was down there.
One of the
Actually,
biggest cities in the world. So yeah.
I think it was actually down there. Yeah, that's him. I know a gym.
Did you get that on 911? That people would be like, "Oh, I know somebody that works for 911."
No, it's when they call in. Hey, I was talking to this cop. His name is David. oh, okay. What precinct he's out of? This one right here. Where's this one right here? In Phoenix. There's 9 precincts in Phoenix. Then you got headquarters. Then you got communications property. Northern Command, Southern Command. Which one? But you can't do that to people. You're like, oh, okay. Tell me your address and I'll find them.
Tell me your address.
That's a big key component is when you just play the dummy in those situations where you're like, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and look this up. My system ain't really working, so let me give you your address. Because I don't know David.
My system ain't really working. What else is new? Nothing's ever working. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But no, I didn't know that, Taylor, that you were in the Air Force. That's cool, man. Mm-hmm. Around jets, too. There's a guy that's actually... He's a very very big in the as a pipe fitter. He's a retiree, but a lot of people know him. I don't want to say his name, but he has a lot of respect, and he does a lot of good work and fast too. And but he always
that's when you want to say his name.
Pilot. That's what it was his goal before.
Dude, you don't want to say names when you're talking smack. What's his name? He's doing good. You're giving him a shout out. What's his name?
Oh man.
Oh, you mean you forgot it? My bad.
Well, yeah, you forgot it.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, I have never met him, but someone told me, yeah, he wanted to be a fighter pilot, but he got into the trade, and I was like, but he became good. He became, you know what I mean, a good pipe fitter, like, you know what I mean. I forgot. God.
What were you saying earlier, Jory, about the percentage of veterans in the pipe trades?
Well, you see, you got a guy who got up and made this statistic that 1% of the U.S. population are U.S. veterans. 1%. And then when you get into the UA specifically, 14% of our members are veterans, which is pretty astounding. And I've never been in the military, but I can think you could vouch for this. One thing he noted on that, added on to, was that the camaraderie, the brotherhood that they feel, and
that was definitely one of the things that attracted me to the union. So my grandfather was a pipe fitter, he was a union pipe fitter, and so when I got out, I had training in medical laboratory science. So when I was active duty, I worked on computers. When I transitioned out, I went in the National Guard and worked in a medical laboratory. So I thought, okay, on the civilian side, I'm going to go to school, be a nurse, because a lot of the stuff that you do in the laboratory ties right in with nursing. It's just sort of the other side of the curtain. So yeah, nursing, that's a pretty good way to make a living. And I was going to school for that, and I missed a lot of those aspects of being in the military, and one of those was the esprit de corps, that brotherhood, that sense of unity. Nurses don't necessarily, there might be some of that, but it's not the same.
That's what I felt in 911.
Wait, that's a guy's name. It's Rick Trigg. Yeah.
Rick Trigg. All right, yeah. Rick Trigg. Fighter pilot.
He wanted to be, like, somebody told me that, because I was just talking about dreams, you know what I mean? One day to another.
Badass.
Yeah. No, he is. He's really
No, that's what I'm saying. That's where we're going to use for this.
I think his name's Rick Trigg. Yeah, he's really good. Because my dad has a lot of respect for him, too. My dad, Olea.
But I'm talking about where you're talking about. One of the reasons I left 911 is because everyone was complaining. There was always a complaint every day, and
So they never called for nice things, though, right? Hey, you know what? Things are going good.
I think he's talking about his coworkers.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about you getting 911. The 911 calls. I was like, everybody's complaining. Get to 911.
Yeah, what do you think, dog? Whoa. You may have got shot, sir. I'm gonna need you to have a better attitude.
Like, you know what? Yes. Stop calling me for all these problems. Call me when you have when things are going good.
This is gonna sound familiar, but
my bad.
That's what I thought you were saying. We're just having a conversation. Is you come in, and then there's always something to. They're doing this now, and they're doing that, and they're doing.
And you know what you're doing? You're complaining. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Well, there was no sense of we belong together.
Yeah.
I mean, until someone had a really bad thing, and everyone's sitting there helping them out. But at that point, I don't know. I was already indifferent towards these people. I was like, you just got to carry yourself a certain way, in my opinion. But instead of complaining, I was like, I'm gonna go look for something else. So when I came here, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a lot more money here,
something to do,
and I'm gonna chug away. And then I was shown what this really was. Yeah, I I was shown what this
Have you
really is.
ADD medicine yet? I'm just kidding.
Damn, Mark is something else, man. I love you, Mark.
But
no, so when I came here, it turned into something else where I was like gonna try to just be an ultra